All right, some housekeeping to do. 15 seconds into this game, Anthony Davis commits a foul. Now, when we went to commercial, Jim, I think we were thinking maybe the officials were going to look at this to see if it rose to the level of a flagrant. It's not the case. That was a full-on challenge by Frank Vogel, and it was an unsuccessful challenge. They have used it. This was the play in question. Davis called for the foul. An unsuccessful challenge. 3 free throws for Jay Crowder. Talk about the strategy using a challenge this early in the game, partner.
Well, what's surprising about it is the games in this series have been so close. Okay, within 1 or 2 possessions, late game situations. You would think that you would want to hold that, challenge until later in the game, unless something popped up where LeBron is going to pick up 5 or AD pick up the fifth foul and then challenge it. But you would want to keep that in your bag just in case you need it in late game situations. So very surprising that Vogel and the coaching staff chose to use it this early in the game.
Not to mention how it kind of takes the crowd out of it. There's about 7,500 fans at Staples Center tonight. They were up and ready to go, fired up to see the Lakers in person in the playoffs for the first time since 2013. And LeBron gets him right back in good throat right there as he knocks down a 3.
Well, a 1-2 pick and roll between LeBron. You see the lineups right now. Who's on the court with Schroeder, Drummond, Anthony Davis, Pope, and James. But how do you play the pick and roll with 2 shooters because of LeBron James to brick right there by Devin Booker and Anthony Davis? It'll be a challenge.
Game 1 went to the Suns. That was Sunday. 99-90 was the final. Lakers were brutal from 3-point range in that game as Anthony Davis, he and LeBron get it started for the Lakers. Watching Chris Paul here. Schroeder, an excellent defender. You see Booker and Paul with Bridges, Crowder, and Ayton. Familiar starting 5. And now a question on who touched that one last. And that's going to be Phoenix ball. Full court pressure, though, and watching Chris Paul, the way he's handled the ball since the shoulder injury in game 1, it has been a question mark.
But not only handling the ball, but shooting, because he loves to go to his right to pull up. Now he has to square up and shoot. Also passing with his right hand. Not just the short passes, I'm talking about the long over-the-top passes. So we got to keep our eye on a lot of those different movements of Chris Paul. Now be an indication on how he's feeling, with the shoulder.
Chris Paul played just 23 minutes in game 2. Crowder goes to the basket, and Drummond and Davis there to secure the rebound. The Lakers are massive, and they are going to put a lot of big bodies on the Suns once again. Caldwell Pope on the feed from AD. DeAndre Ayton clears it away. Now Chris Paul at the controls here. Paul trying to get around Drummond, finds Ayton, got a mismatch there, and Ayton takes advantage of Dennis Schroeder.
But that was all set up by Chris Paul because he drew the defense to him, even 2 defenders with eyes on him. That allowed Ayton to get down the lane. You see a turnover right here by the Lakers, but that allowed Ayton to get down and get posted up and get an easy 2.
Talked to Monty Williams before the game, and there was a major adjustment by the Lakers going big from game 1 to game 2. We asked him about, does he counter with a small lineup? He said maybe, but he's concerned about the rebounding. So he is most likely going to stick with his regular rotation. The real question will be guys like Torrey Craig. Do we see Javon Carter at all tonight? Especially concerning Javon Carter if Chris Paul is in limited minutes with that shoulder injury.
Well, it's not just the size, it's the physicality that size brings that Phoenix couldn't match up with, in particular early in the game. That's in question as well, because Phoenix can't be a physical team. They haven't been like that all year. So you combat that by going smaller a little bit to move the size of the Lakers.
Davis misses a 3. Ayton kept it alive, but right into the hands of AD. Cannot finish, gets his own. Looking for some room and hammers one down. Anthony Davis coming off a big game 2, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, had 3 blocks in the game as well as Booker gets the friendly bounce for Phoenix. Booker, a 31-point game in game 2 as well. He has been electrifying in his first 2 playoff games. Schroeder for 3, cash.
Schroeder recognizing that CP, Chris Paul, went underneath the screen. Again, watching game film, you see tendencies of your opponents. You try to take advantage of it. you know, a different energy with AD. When he's on the attack like this, now the defense has to honor it. And when he has his mindset to dominate, there's no one in the league that can match up with. It's the times, BA, when he settles for just being okay. When he settles for just being average, that places the Lakers in a tough dilemma because then they become somewhat of an average team.
Caldwell Pope, that is wiped out by Andre Drummond as Booker was trying to go to the hole, and now the wise old vet LeBron James pins a foul on Devin Booker.
You go back inside, and what's the value of having Andre Drummond? Well, is he a rim protector? Yeah, at times. But when he can do this, okay, he adds so much value on the defensive end for the Lakers. We know what he can do on the offensive board, but picking up those block shots are valuable.
Lakers signed Drummond on March 28th. Has not been with the team that long. Remember, he started with Cleveland. Certainly has not been with LeBron and AD that long as LeBron James scores the layup inside.
Well, and the difference being, and I interrupt, in Phoenix, the energy level, attention to detail, being assertive and decisive was all the Lakers. You see it a little bit now here in this first quarter. Again, the determination to set the tone early. And it's important that Phoenix continues to respond to that. You can't turn it over against this Laker team.
Phoenix high turnover first quarter in game 2. Lakers give it right back. So Ayton on the other end gets a steal. Here's Paul now. He'll pull the mid-range. Paul, he's looking pretty good here. You see a lot of the treatment. You can see the results of that treatment on that right shoulder. Those suction cups that try to increase blood flow. Kind of like a stinger. They're calling it a shoulder contusion, but he lost a little feeling in his hand. That was in the second quarter of being done. He was not much improved as Drummond just puts Ayton in the spin cycle and hammers one home for LA.
Well, you won't get a steady diet of just feeding the ball to Andre Drummond, but when he gets his opportunities, he has to take advantage of it. On that last play, he did just that.
Mikal Bridges first try, no good. Offensive board, Booker, and Booker comes up short. Ayton another chance, and a third chance is good for the Phoenix Suns as DeAndre Ayton scores his second basket. And on the ground is Anthony Davis, looking like he took a shot to the face.
I think it happened after the play, Brian, when Ayton, after he made the basket, retreating back the other way, may have accidentally caught Anthony Davis with a shot. Take a look right here. After the shot goes in, a little contact, DA. This is going to be a physical game, I believe, early. Both teams up to the challenge.